Hi everyone.
Hi guys.
Lovely to see you again. And more smelling from the Art and Olfaction Awards 2023.
Art and Olfaction.
Olfaction, not olfactory. I'm thinking of the olfactory bulb.
Yeah.
But yes, the Art and Olfaction Awards. I'm always thinking of the bulb. So something today again, something I've not smelled. I've just literally looked at the bottle now, but I'm intrigued because this is a note I don't really think I know very well.
Well, okay.
So I'm excited to see what this is about.
Step back a bit.
Step back
a bit. So we are continuing to cover some of the finalists of the Art and Olfaction Awards. We're in the Artisan category once more, and this is quite an interesting one. So when we, in our introductory video, we mentioned that lots of the houses, the perfumers we hadn't heard of at all. So this is a perfumer I had heard of because it's somebody I have, I suppose, interacted with a bit on social media over the past few years. We've chatted a bit, we've kind of exchanged
Instagrammed.
We have Instagrammed it. We've exchanged samples, and it's really impressive to see them not only selling their perfume, but to have already achieved this accolade of being one of the finalists in the Art and Olfaction Awards.
It's a big deal, isn't it? It's
really impressive.
Yeah.
Simon Scher, the house is Neshama. Neshama means soul in Hebrew, but the word is also from the same root as breathe. So I guess it's inhale and fill your soul. Anyway, let's get in and smell it. Also, the other, just before we smell it, we mentioned again in our introductory video that when these fragrances are judged, because they're judged blind, I assume that fragrance and price and packaging does not come into consideration. But as far as I'm concerned, price does come into consideration.
You have to think about it, don't you, when you're buying stuff, at least.
Yeah, and also there are lots of fragrances which are almost offensively priced. So, this is a very new house, and he's only selling on Etsy at the moment, but £30 for 15 ml EDP is just such a reasonable price, and such a, for people like us who just want to try and experience things, it's very reasonable.
And I think the selling on Etsy thing will change.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
I hope this goes far. I've not smelt it. If it's terrible, I still hope you go far, because I really admire anyone that gets up and does this, and this passion.
Puts themselves forward.
Yeah.
So I should say again, I mentioned it before, you haven't seen our channel before, that I have worn this several times. I've worn it on skin a few times. I've got a page of notes of what I think about it, but Joe hasn't tried it. He hasn't seen the notes list. He doesn't know what to expect.
I really like it already. I know that much. Bloody hell.
This is a really beautiful opening.
That's really beautiful. It takes me back a long time to some childhood memory, and I can't put my finger on it. But I love that.
I feel it's so effervescent and energetic and bright.
Wow.
And one of the things when I was when I kind of test fragrances, I tend to kind of wear them and I make voice notes like throughout the day. I was playing Jason with them, and then I type up my voice notes. But with this, I was quite inclined almost to describe it in terms of colour, and I think this first spray is bright yellow with flecks of gold.
Interesting.
Do you not agree?
I never really see colours, but
You always see colours.
No, but as in when I'm smelling something, I'm immediately trying to go back to the memory I associate with.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, yes, gold for sure.
It's interesting.
I get a really sort of big neon pinky blue thing as well.
That's okay. So that's so interesting because he in his description he says this perfume is like the pink sunsets at the height of summer. And it's interesting because in all my thoughts about this, I never saw the colour pink. But so it's interesting that you've said pink.
I just feel it in my head somehow.
I get bright, explosive yellows maybe a bit of pink pepper. I will give you that in terms of pink. But there's a fizzy, uplifting. So I suppose it's kind of floral, but not in an obviously. It's more of a chewy, not deep, thick. At the moment, it's bright and effervescent.
Yeah. I get a very vintage floral leathery thing,
definitely
a kind of a sort of beautiful Aramis vibe, with a sort of bright neon colour. I love this. This is one of the things I've smelled and really immediately fallen in love with.
Yeah,
just that opening I think is really stunning.
I'm reminded a little bit of Hera by Papillon.
That immediately. Yeah, I can see what you mean. This feels a bit bolder though. It feels like it grabs me.
I mean, it's very arresting and bold, and it feels much more. It really it's quite obvious that there are there's a strong presence of naturals on show here. Because we're not getting our kind of our white floral accord. We really feel, in
feels very
the videos we did recently when we smelt some floral absolutes.
Yeah.
There was that thick, chewy sweetness, which I think is a big feature of this.
It's really good. I love it.
It's
I get something cakey as well,
almondy, maybe not almondy, but
I get sort of lemony cake, like a lemony cakey.
But yeah, I got a kind of I don't know what the citruses are, but I kind of got a yuzu-y.
For me, I almost
drizzle.
can't decipher notes. This takes me back to a childhood time, and I smelled this in the air and I loved it, and I didn't smell this.
Well, that's why I said I was inclined to go towards colour and texture more rather than just notes.
Yeah.
I think because so often when we smell florals in perfume, they are accords, not absolutes or essential oils. Whereas here, actually, weirdly, because I think they are, this is quite a natural heavy fragrance. It doesn't feel like a floral perfume. It just feels
no.
We feel removed from that syrupy, warm,
It's
jammy,
syrupy, yeah. It's sticky, it's rich, but it's also still bright and energetic at the same time.
Very, very, I just felt, especially the opening is so effervescent and uplifting and yellow and bright with flecks of gold and joyous.
I haven't smelled something like that in a long time, actually.
It's very happy making,
I love
isn't
that. Yeah, it really is. I love that. It is just so evocative to me. It's transported me and it's kind of silenced me a little bit because I almost can't be bothered to try and break it down. It just takes me back.
I don't want to try and pin you down, but where to what?
Well, I've got memories of being in Green Park after a choir rehearsal and having this smell not in the air, but just in my mind. Whether someone I knew that day had been wearing it, or whether I was wearing something that I'd robbed off my dad and was then playing football. The smell of the building I'd just been in, having the choir rehearsal. I can't quite pinpoint it.
Because when I wore this, I definitely got.
It takes me, transports
I got
me
the
there.
feel of a sunset, and it's weird. It's weird. You immediately mentioned pink because pink was not the colour I got, but I got
pink.
I got the real feel of an end of the day, a hot day which is slightly, sticky, sweet. As the sun goes down, yellow goes to kind of golden, goes to orange, goes to amber.
And I get a little tiny animalic thing just creeping in.
A little slightly indolic twang.
Yeah.
There's also there's a tobacco-y sweetness, which
maybe, yeah.
See, we
Beautiful.
I don't feel the osmanthus is that present in here. We were talking about osmanthus, and osmanthus as a synthetic accord is something I don't like. But we have, I'll post a link below to our recent video where we smell some Osmanthus Absolute, and I don't feel the Osmanthus is that prominent in here.
I can't remember the Osmanthus smell well enough to be
but
able
it's
to
that
identify.
kind of leathery, slightly stewed fruit leathery. You maybe get a little bit of it.
But there's a little hint of sort of stewed pruny something.
There's a
going
little
on.
bit of it, but it's not too overt, I don't think.
It's just it's all very lifted. It's like it's like a very rich, dense perfume, but with everything lifted.
Yeah.
So it's leathery but lifted. It's plummy and syrupy but lifted. You know what I mean? It never goes too far into the heaviness.
So I think he
everything has a sort of.
I read some of his
to it.
blurb, and he said his fragrances are quite natural heavy, but they're not all natural. And from my experiences, that's what the best perfumes are. They've got lots of naturals, but they're not all natural. So he's just used some Hedione maybe to create some space around those thick, and some musk to get some kind of refinement. So we're really getting the most of those absolutes.
I really, really love that. Do you know, if I saw that on a shelf, I would never think, Osmanthus flower thing. I probably wouldn't smell it. I would just be such a lazy ass. I go, oh no, where's the next thing I'm looking for? That is beautiful.
And there's a real understated simplicity, I would say.
Yeah.
It's not a particularly complex fragrance. I think as it goes on, you get a little bit more of the tobacco, and then around about the 1 hour stage, a lot of the brightness goes, and we go slightly more towards a leathery Osmanthus. But there's not a huge amount of development.
It just does what it does really well.
It does what it does really well.
Beautifully treated, and yeah.
I would say from about 2 to 2.5 hours, it recedes quite a lot and becomes a real skin scent. The first time I wore it, I thought it disappeared after 2.5 hours, but I don't think that's actually the case. The second time I wore it, I did feel it lasted from 2.5 to 8 hours. I did think it lasted, but it sat, it was really a skin scent from 2.5 to 8 hours. But
yeah,
but a beautiful,
what a skin scent to have.
Warm skin scent, and
I would buy that immediately. In fact, I'm going to buy that today.
I mean, especially at the price at the moment.
How far do they come from then?
Sorry?
How far do these come from? Where?
Well, they are in the UK. I mean,
I'll do that immediately after this.
I would imagine if he's sending it to LA for the Art and Olfaction Awards, he must be able to distribute worldwide. You would think, but I think that
it's very warm.
It's very warm.
It's somehow energetic.
It's a summer sunset. I really think it is a summer sunset.
Totally.
I really think it's an olfactory snapshot. I don't think it's kaleidoscopic. I don't think there's a huge amount of development. And my only kind of criticism would be that I was kind of hoping for a third stage. I got the kind of bright opening stage, which then goes to something a bit warmer and a bit sweeter, and then I was hoping for either something resinous, like a benzoin dry down, maybe like benzoin and labdanum, or like a cedary dry down, or maybe even like oudi dry down. Well, I didn't really think I'd get that. That was just like lightly musky. But I mean, the stages 1 and 2 were so good. Yeah,
I would happily just take these and refresh every now and then. Yeah. I think that's so beautiful.
But for the price, you can. So.
Yeah, what was it? 35 quid for 15?
It was £35 for 15 ml.
That's really good. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Osmanthus, who knew I liked Osmanthus? Even though you're not getting a huge Osmanthus thing, whatever it is in this is working.
The balance of jasmine and tobacco.
Yeah, the tobacco is coming through more for me now.
Yeah, it definitely does around the mid, and I feel that's what takes it from the yellow into the kind of like amber browny.
Yeah. And the sun starts to drop, and the hour
very much so
moves on. Yeah. Wow. Are there any others from this house? I want to check out everything now. If there are more,
I think he has 2 more fragrances.
I'm fascinated.
For sale on Etsy. Yeah.
God, just selling on Etsy and doing beautiful stuff like this. Amazing.
Lovely work.
I love that so much. Thank you for introducing.
Congratulations, Simon, and thank you for sending us. Oh, sorry, I should have said it at the beginning. He did send us one of the bottles. Here is the bottle. Little 15.
It's a nice bottle as well.
Yeah, simple, elegant.
That is really beautiful.
Lovely.
God, I'd walk past that in the shop if it said, what does it say on the front? Osmanthus. Yeah, Osmanthus Floral. I would probably go, okay, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd spray it on a card, but I'd be looking for like the perfume that said, rotting cow on fire. And I might miss this.
Well, this does say souls on fire, so that's quite close.
Something
actually.
on fire, yeah.
Anyway,
fantastic.
lovely, good work.
I wish you all the luck in the world
and all the best. I'd like to smell whatever you have in the future, Simon.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Bye.
Happy sniffing.